My name is Rachel Stubbings and I have a problem with anger management. Cool. These things piss me off. Anyone in a rugby shirt. Blokes that wear white sport socks. Blokes that are really into sport. Women that are really into sport. Sport. Anyone who has ever ordered a decaf latte with soya milk. Blokes that don't support a football team. Gay. The fact that the word gay has become a derogatory term. Let's be fair. The point in a relationship where you change from seeing each other to being girlfriend and boyfriend, otherwise known as the end. People that do that. These words, quirky, kooky, funky, and smear. When you read a whole page in your book and you realise you haven't been concentrating because you've been thinking about what you're going to eat for your dinner, and then you have to read the whole fucking page again. Having dreams where you have sex with really inappropriate people. It's embarrassing, isn't it? Dad and that. Oh, rubbish. Although I did have a dream about Optimus Prime, who made me come. People that eat too much and then moan about being fat. Don't eat so much, you fatty. Vegetarians that still eat fish. Vegetarians that still eat fish and chicken.
So I've just started to teach my daughter the alphabet. She's 16, so I thought she ought to know it, really. No, she's two, and her favourite letter at the moment is M, because her current obsession is with the moon. She loves the moon, and she said to me the other night, "Daddy, I want to touch the moon." You know, I explained to her that the moon was far, far away, and she seemed happy with that. But the next day I was in a bookshop, and I spotted this children's book called "Daddy, Can You Fetch Me the Moon?" It's true, it's a lovely book. I thought she'd love this, so I put it back. That night I read it to her, and it starts out, a little girl says, "Daddy, can you fetch me the moon? I want to play with it." Now, does her daddy say to her, "No, it's far, far away"? No, her daddy takes his very, very, very long ladder up a very, very, very high mountain, climbs a ladder to the moon, brings the moon down and gives it to his daughter to play with. How ashamed did I feel? You know, how inadequate. Fortunately, my daughter can't read, so I told her that the ladder began to sway. And unfortunately, the little girl's daddy fell off his very, very long ladder down the very, very high mountain and died. The end.
But yeah, no, everyone's got their own way of dealing with nerves. As I said, my old man's got his. He pictures everyone naked. Bit strange, really, considering he's headmaster of an all-boys school. Never did see much of the old man. But yeah, no, everyone's got their own way. The All Blacks, they have the haka. You've got Johnny Wilkinson with his stance, won England the World Cup. But I've got my own. Whenever I'm nervous, I go for a pre-game poo. So there I was a couple of months ago before a big gig, very nervous, and thought I'd go and have a bit of Joey time. Go and sit down in the cubicle and do my thing. So I'm sitting there and a fella comes in the cubicle next to me. He goes, "You alright, mate?" I said, "Yeah, not too bad." "What are you up to?" Struck me as a bit obvious. I said, "I'm having a shit, mate." "What are you up to after?" I said, well, probably have a wipe, wash my hands, go and have a few beers." He said, "Sorry, mate, I'm going to have to phone you in a minute. Some dickhead in the toilet next to you thinks I'm talking to you."
See, the trouble is, I learned about my sex education when I was a kid was learnt from foreign films on Channel 4 and Channel 5, because we didn't have Sky in those days. And it was like, you know, you watch them, and they usually reward the persistent viewer with some kind of gratuitous sex scene if you watch long enough. Although, actually, I watched this Polish film once. It was 3 hours long. Subtitles, and I sat there for 3 hours, hadn't got a clue what was going on, and the final scene was a lad in a bath cutting his wrists. It's really hard to get off on that. but not impossible. And actually learning about sex watching those foreign films is a bit like trying to learn about cookery by watching Gordon Ramsay. It just leads to disastrous consequences in real life. The last girl I was seeing, she said, "Neil, why do you never cook for me?" I said, "Well, come round, I'll cook for you then." She said, "Well, can I help?" I went, "Yeah, fine." So we go into the kitchen, I said, "Oh, come on, I want 2 salmon now, go, go, go!" "Oh, you burnt the fucking toast, you silly bitch!" So that relationship didn't work out. And then, thanks, I'll get my breath back.
I've got quite a lot of time on my hand because I lost my job recently, and all my friends have been trying to cheer me up by saying, Si, don't worry mate, you're wasted in that job. But that's why I lost it. So, scant consolation really. Word of warning, don't urinate on clients. They get a bit touchy. But it's annoying because like, when I was younger I always wanted to make it in a career. I wanted to be like a doctor or something. But I don't think I could have been a doctor purely because I could never have maintained seriousness long enough. I would always have to slip in a gag at some inopportune moment. I can imagine someone coming into my surgery and be like, Mr. Jones, thanks for coming in for the results of your HIV test. Probably best if you sit down. Yeah, afraid to say the results have come back positive. Positive because they're negative! You're a face! Why are you crying? Hey, cheer up, misery, got you in the clear. I tell you what, why don't you put my stethoscope on and I'll make monkey noises down the end of it. Ready? Here we go. Here's Alina. Well done, you scam. On your way. So.
Do you know, I'm often asked, are you really a doctor? And I often reply, well, I'm exploring your vagina with a torch. So I certainly hope so. For both our sakes. It's strange you left it till now to ask. The next question is often, what's it look like down there? And I often reply, it's much like staring down a dog's throat. Have a go next time you're down there, it really is uncanny. Indeed, I recently made the mistake of lubing up the speculum with some tasty rabbit-flavoured toothpaste. Having been relieved of my duties in gynecology, I was doing a stint in accident and emergency last week when the young victim of a gang shooting was brought in. He'd been shot in the stomach, and I'm sorry to say that there wasn't much that we could do for him. It was one of those terrible times where we just had to stand by and watch a young man die a slow and most agonising death. We didn't have to stand by and watch. But with so much money riding on the time of death, the other staff were loath to leave me alone with him. So, all in all, it's been rather a controversial career in medicine. I remember getting into a spot of bother a number of years ago when I was discovered drawing the hair onto a young chap who'd just undergone an intensive course of chemotherapy. As I explained to his parents, I was merely trying to show the boy what he might look like in the unlikely event he reached puberty. Young man himself was none too pleased with my use of indelible orange marker.